what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs, and today we're going to talk about Jordon Harris, Missouri football commitment, in a unique situation. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. So, the unique situation here is that we're talking about a guy committing to play SEC football, as in he had the offer to do it, and had other offers. It's his first year playing football. Yeah, first year playing football. And that's just wild. Anyway, Jordon Harris, he is from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Pine Bluff High School down there, kind of the middle of the state-ish. He is 6'7", 230 pounds, and he plays tight end and defensive end. As I said, it's his first year playing football. Rivals didn't really have a profile for him until it came out that Mizzou was looking at him. Some other schools were sniffing around, but really mid-season was the first time that he even had a profile. 24/7 Sports, they've come up with a rating for him. They gave him an 89. That's near the top of the 3-star kind of range for them. So they think he's pretty solid. So, we'll see what comes of that. I think it's worth noting he has a 4.0 GPA. Had an offer to Air Force. I always try to emphasize that, good schools, service academies, means you're not an idiot. So I think that's important. He also has a 7'1" wingspan. So 6'7", yeah, he's tall, but he's got an even longer wingspan. And I'll talk about that in a little bit here. As far as the offers, I mentioned Air Force. Vandy also offered some other small schools there. It's not an impressive offer list in and of itself. That said, considering it's his first year playing football, that's incredible to have that many offers. So what did these coaches see? I'm going to talk first about tight end because we don't really know exactly what he's going to play. He's got the size to potentially play either one. At tight end first, he lined up all over the place. He would line up sometimes as a wide receiver, sometimes as a tight end, like right on the end of the line of scrimmage, and other times almost like an old school wing back next to the tackle but a yard off the line of scrimmage. And I saw him he was lined up there in that wing back kind of spot. He was the lead blocker on a sweep. So to be able to pull that off, he had to have the quick enough first step and the acceleration to get out on the edge and be able to meet whatever defender, outside backer or safety or whoever, before the running back was there, right? So that was impressive to see. Solid hands for a first-year football player, excellent route running, overall decent. And he's big. He's 6'7", 230. He can just kind of muscle his way around a lot of the smaller corners. It's a little bit of the same story when you're talking about him lining up at defensive end. There were times where he could just overpower whatever offensive lineman he was matched up against and just kind of discard them and go do his thing. His team would have him in part of a 3-man front or 4-man front, so that was good to see, that versatility. And then there were times he was in a 4-point stance as opposed to a 3-point stance, which I thought was kind of interesting. With Harris and his wingspan, 7'1", as I said earlier, it's a huge advantage on the line because he can just stretch out and he can be making contact. He can initiate the contact before an offensive tackle or whoever can engage. And that gives him an advantage to kind of establish the contact on his terms. So that is great for him, establishing leverage and keeping control. And I think that's a big part of why he was able to keep his outside shoulder free, which, if you know your football, that is critically important for a defensive end, as their job is to contain on the outside, keeping the outside shoulder free, easiest way to do that. He's got the step, as I mentioned, to just have the advantage over kind of a run-of-the-mill high school kid. He's got he's got a motor. He runs, and he's got the speed of a tight end, meaning there was a play that was kind of a little dump off to a running back on the offense's left side. He was on the opposite side of the football field. He ran across the field, and he made the tackle for like a 4-yard gain. I also saw something that's very common for people who have not played football much, which is his first move and first step coming out of his stance was more up than out. You know, the saying in football, especially on the line, the scrimmage, low man wins. That's something that it's something that only comes with habit and with repetition. He doesn't have that, so it only makes sense that he would, come up too much. That'll get coached out of him, so that's not really a big concern. It's just something that does need to get coached out of him. For Missouri, this is commitment number 17. And, well, if he plays tight end, he'd be the first of the class. If he plays defensive end, he'd be the second of the class after Ja'Kai Lang, who committed, about a year ago now. And it's tough to say what Missouri sees him as. Most schools have been recruiting him as a tight end, all right? But Missouri, at least according to PowerMizzou.com, they report that Missouri sees him more as an athlete. I personally think that he's going to be defensive end. That's my guess. Another thing Power Mizzou reported was that defensive line coach Al Davis became increasingly involved in recruiting Harris. So, we'll see what happens there. Anyway, that's all I've got. We've got a first-year football player committing to play SEC football. It's wild. Jordon Harris. Thanks for checking out this video. See y'all next time.